你说咱才了去了吗？你不修脚能修得了吗？
哎呀妈呀！
那我二俩不也是这样？
别动啊，不疼啊。
这才有成就呢。你说
看嘛，是不是干净？
哎呀妈呀！
大，那我太太是，太太脚也是这样。
你吃那个姜花，是，瞅瞅。
你做了大味儿啊！哎呀，我操！
啊，你脚腕好脚啊，我脚腕不好脚。
你到去哪
了？剪刀脚。
你告诉他完事儿呗，有用没用的，完蛋下来了。
不要啊！
这点人这在一小区都不带两块。
我告诉那个谁了，我告诉刘燕了，他能不知道吗？他在3楼。
我再告诉你一遍，他在给家都装不到我这。
完了，刘燕告诉你。
这新一次多少钱？
不要钱。
免费的，不要钱。
别动啊，不疼啊。
等会儿啊，坐在床上等着。
对，别着急。
我脚腕比他痛，我在家前我养小鸡子，养小鸡子，我这个这么多能全路能找脚腕儿。
要不？要不？
我这人都上来了，要完了没？
别动啊。
吃糖了啊？吃糖了呀？
你是多的，你是多的。
看完了好几个。
你说的人多的，不是多的。多的。
你这整疼。
一个人是挺好。
2个人。
啊。
哎，伸直脚啊。
休息，小王。
哎，现在我这个回出去咋样？会吃药？行。
有。
你简单的人说。
可以是吗？
好嘞，吃不疼。
The whole process of the 49 days after death. Where does the soul go after death? Guanyin leads the way to the underworld and find friends who are suffering and being tortured. Death has always been a mysterious mystery lingering in the hearts of human beings, which is both inspiring and arouses endless curiosity. When the candle of life slowly goes up, What kind of journey will the soul of the dead embark on? The folk saying has been passed down from generation to generation. In the 49 days after a person's death, the soul will experience a special journey full of fantasy and tests, gradually moving from the familiar world of the living to the mysterious underworld, and finally completing reincarnation and opening a new chapter of life. Next, let us clear the fog and explore the mysterious and unpredictable process of the 49 days after death. First stop, the Layan Temple. The moment life disappears, the soul is like a kite with a broken line, free from the constraints of the body. At this time, the star figure among the underworld, the black and white impregnants, will appear. Black Huajang has a face as black as ink, tall and burly, and a black robe fluttering in the wind. White Huajang has a pale face, a thin body, and wears a tall hat with "One sight makes money" written on it. They exude a cold aura, with majesty and indifference in their eyes. Holding chains, they drag the souls away with neat movements. The first stop for the dead souls to be escorted is the local land temple. This seemingly inconspicuous is actually the grassroots hub of the order in the underworld, just like a community service center in the world of the living. In the temple, the kind-looking land god holds a cane, has white hair and beard, and looks kind. The landlady next to him is smiling and holding a wisp. They guard the land day after day, carefully reading the yellowed books that record everyone's life and death. Compared with the city god temple with a wide jurisdiction, the land temple is closer to the world of the living, so it becomes the first stop of the journey to the underworld. The souls who first arrived at the land temple still have a deep attachment to the world of the living. Their eyes were full of confusion and fear, like a lost child, carefully looking around at the familiar yet unfamiliar environment. The modeled murals on the wall tell the ancient story of the underworld. The green smoke rising from the incense burner lingers in the temple, adding a bit of mystery. The souls stood in front of the land temple, waiting for the inspection of the land god and land lady, silently praying in their hearts that this unknown journey can start smoothly. Second stop, Huangguan Road. Leaving the shelter of the land temple, the souls stepped into Huangguan Road. This road, which carries countless mysterious legends in Chinese culture, is a passage connecting the world of the living and the underworld. When the ancients dug the spring well, they found that the deep water of the spring was yellow. In addition, the tradition of burying the dead in peace, so they regarded this area deep in the earth as the location of the underworld, and Huangguan Road was the only way for the soul to go there. Stepping on Huangguan Road, a chill instantly hit. The road was filled with thick fog as thick as ink, like a pair of invisible hands, tightly wrapping the light, making it difficult to see the road ahead. From time to time, there were bursts of faint sobbing in the distance, like the sighs of countless dead souls, echoing in the silent air. On the roadside, the strange shaped stones were like monsters with bared fangs and claws. Some of them were covered with moss and wet, some were angular and sharp, as if they could cut through the body of the soul. The dead trees grew crookedly, with twisted branches and no leaves. Occasionally, a gust of cold wind blew, and the branches rubbed against each other, making a rustling sound, adding a bit of gloomy horror. The souls followed the footsteps of the ghost messenger closely, not daring to slack off. Their hearts were full of anxiety and fear, and every step they took seemed to be stepping into an unknown abyss. Some souls kept recalling the good times before their death in their hearts, trying to dispel the fear in their hearts. Others prayed silently, hoping to get out of this unknown Huangguan Road as soon as possible and reach their destination. The third stop, Wang Xiangtai. After a long journey on the Yellow Spring Road, the souls finally arrived at Wang Xiangtai. This is a high platform made of bluestone, with exquisite patterns carved on the platform, but it exudes a sense of desolation. Standing on the Wang Xiangtai, the souls seemed to have a pair of special eyes, which could clearly see all the scenes in the world of the living. They saw their families sitting in front of the mourning hall, their faces full of sad tears, their eyes full of reluctance and pain. Young children nestled in the arms of adults, crying and shouting to find their deceased relatives. Elderly parents sat by the bed, holding the clothes of the deceased tightly in their hands, unwilling to let go for a long time. The souls wanted to rush forward, hug their relatives, and tell them not to be sad. They are still by their side. However, at this time, they are just invisible souls. No matter how they shout, or how hard they try, they can't have any intersection with their relatives in the world of the living. Tears fell from the eyes of the souls, and some souls looked at everything familiar in their homes, feeling full of guilt. They regretted not spending more time with their loved ones during their lifetime, and regretted quarreling with their families over trivial matters. Some souls with deep attachment engraved every corner of the home and the faces of every loved one in their minds, hoping to keep this memory forever. But Wang Xiangtai is only a short stop. With the urging of the underworld, the souls had to leave reluctantly and continue their journey to the depths of the underworld. The fourth stop, Evil Dog Ridge. After getting off the Wang Xiangtai, the souls stepped into the Evil Dog Ridge. From a distance, there was a bloody smell on the ridge, and groups of evil dogs wandered on the ridge. These evil dogs were huge, half a person's height, with messy hair and their eyes emitting a faint green light, like ghost lights. Their mouths were wide open, revealing sharp fangs, and from time to time they made bursts of creepy barking sounds, which echoed in the valley, shaking the souls' eardrums. Black and white impermanence explained to the souls with a serious expression that those who had committed many evil deeds in their lives, especially those who tortured dogs and took pleasure in killing unbeating dogs, would be bitten and gnawed by the vicious dogs if they passed by this place. As soon as the voice fell, those souls who had committed evil deeds in their lives became the targets of the vicious dogs. The vicious dogs rushed towards these souls like arrows from a bow, opened their bloody mouths, and bit their soul bodies fiercely. The souls were terrified and fled everywhere, making shrill screams. Their soul bodies were torn to pieces by the fangs of the vicious dogs, and every bite brought piercing pain as if they were going to devour their souls completely. And those souls who were kind in their lives, under the protection of the Yin Che, walked carefully on the Evil Dog Ridge. Although they were full of fear in their hearts, they always believed in the existence of justice. They looked at the souls attacked by the vicious dogs, and felt sympathy in their hearts, and were grateful for their good deeds in their lives. The Evil Dog Ridge is like the first harsh test in the underworld, which makes a preliminary judgment on the soul's behavior in their lifetime, allowing the souls to deeply understand the truth that good deeds are rewarded with good and evil deeds are punished with evil. The fifth stop, Jinji Mountain. After finally getting rid of the threat of the Evil Dog Ridge, the souls came to Jinji Mountain again. This mountain is shaped like a huge rooster, with two steep ridges in front and behind. The souls need to climb from the rooster's back to the cock's comb with difficulty. As soon as they stepped onto Jinji Mountain, a group of roosters fluttered their wings and rushed towards them. These roosters have bright feathers, but fierce eyes. Their claws are like sharp hooks, and their beaks are like sharp daggers. As the roosters approached, They made a shrill crowing sound, so sharp that it seemed to pierce the eardrums of the souls. The souls dodged in fear, trying to find a safe path. However, the roosters chased them relentlessly, scratching with their claws and pecking with their beaks. At this time, the souls finally understood why people have grains on their bodies after death. When the roosters pounced, they hurriedly scattered the grains. The roosters stopped attacking and pecked at the food on the ground. The souls seized this rare opportunity and climbed Jinji Mountain carefully. Every step had to be careful, for fear that they would fall if they were not careful. The wind in the mountains whistled past, blowing the souls tottering. They had only one firm idea in their hearts, that is, to pass through here smoothly and continue their journey to the underworld. In the battle of wits and courage with the roosters, the souls deeply experienced the difficulties and obstacles of the journey to the underworld. The sixth stop, Yijiyui village. After many hardships, the souls finally passed Jinji Mountain and came to Yijiyui village. From a distance, Yijiyui village was crowded and lively as if it was a bustling market. However, when the souls approached, they found that all this was just an illusory appearance. Many souls who have passed through the Evil Dog Ridge and the Golden Rooster Mountain, but have incomplete limbs gather here. Their bodies are incomplete, some are missing arms, some are missing legs, and they look very miserable. The environment of the wild ghost village is gloomy and weird. The houses are dilapidated, the walls are full of cracks, and the tiles on the roof are also incomplete. The streets are filled with a rotten smell, which makes people sick. The souls snuggle together here, with helplessness and confusion in their eyes. They don't know when they can leave this place, nor do they know how to go in the future. Some of these souls with incomplete limbs were severely injured because of accidents during their lifetime. Some were bitten by vicious dogs and pecked by roosters when passing through the Evil Dog Ridge and the Golden Rooster Mountain. They are waiting here, hoping to regain their strength or get new guidance. Although living in this gloomy wild ghost village, the souls will comfort and help each other and spend this difficult time together. The seventh stop, the Hall of Confusion. Leaving the wild ghost village, the Hall of Confusion is in front. This palace is tall and magnificent, but it exudes a mysterious and strange atmosphere. In the palace, there is a spring with steaming hot water, and the spring water exudes a strange fragrance. This is the legendary soul bewitching water. All souls who come here will be brought to the soul bewitching palace by the ghost messenger. The ghost messengers have indifferent expressions and force the souls to drink the soul bewitching water without question. Although the souls are full of fear and resistance, they can only drink the bitter soul bewitching water helplessly under the intimidation of the ghost messenger. After drinking the soul bewitching water, the soul's consciousness began to become blurred, and the scene in front of them became distorted. Their memories gradually became confused, as if they were shrouded in a fog, and their experiences in their lives became looming. The original fear and worry about the judgment of the underworld gradually dissipated as their consciousness blurred. They followed the ghost messenger in a daze, staggering towards the underworld, like zombies, without the slightest perception and resistance to the upcoming judgment. The eighth stop, Fengzhou City, the underworld. After passing through the Hall of Ecstasy, the souls finally arrived at Fengzhou City, the underworld. This city is tall and majestic, with walls made of black boulders. A huge plaque with 4 blood-red characters, "The underworld," hanging above the gate is particularly eye-catching in the dim light. Walking into Fengzhou City, It is solemn and the atmosphere is so depressing that it makes people breathless. The streets are full of stern-faced ghosts, holding weapons and looking at the passing souls with sharp eyes. The souls were brought to the judge, who sat on the tall trial platform, wearing a black robe, a black hat, holding a judge's pen, and his eyes were majestic and fair. The judge carefully read the book of life and death, based on the souls' deeds in their lifetime, and made rigorous judgments. Some souls are uneasy and their hands are shaking, fearing that their evil deeds in their lifetime will be exposed and severely punished. Some souls are calm and confident, believing that they have done good deeds and accumulated virtues throughout their lives and will not be punished. After the trial, the ghosts will be sent to the 18 levels of hell according to the severity of their crimes. The Biy mountain between the underworld and hell has become a temporary detention place for the ghosts before they are sent to hell. The souls stand in the underworld, waiting for the judgment of their fate, with fear of the unknown and reflection on the past in their hearts. The 9th stop, the 18 levels of hell. After the final trial in the underworld, the guilty souls will be sent to the 18 levels of hell. The 18 levels of hell are different, and each level has a unique punishment, which is specially used to punish souls who committed different crimes in their lifetime. The first level of hell is called the tongue-pulling hell. Souls who like to gossip and lie in their lifetime will have their tongues clamped by huge iron pliers and pulled out with force, bleeding and painful. The second level of hell is the scissors hell. Souls who instigate others to remarry and destroy others' marriages will have their fingers and tongues cut off by sharp scissors and suffer endless torture. The lower you go, the more cruel the punishment. In the Knife Mountain Hell, sharp blades stand upright like a forest. The guilty souls are forced to climb the Knife Mountain naked. Every step they take, the blades will pierce deeply into the body, and the blood will dye the entire Knife Mountain rave. In the Sea of Fire Hell, raging fires are burning, and the souls are struggling painfully in the sea of fire, being burned to pieces and screaming. And those souls who were kind and virtuous in their lifetime will pass smoothly in the 18 levels of hell. They will not be punished, but will go to the next place under the guidance of the messenger of the underworld, waiting for further arrangements of fate. Here, the retribution of good and evil is most vividly reflected, allowing souls to deeply realize the importance of their behavior in their lifetime. The 10th stop, the Offering Pavilion. After passing the test of the 18 levels of hell, the souls came to the Offering Pavilion. This attic is magnificent and radiates warm light. The paper money, clothes, daily necessities, etc., burnt by relatives in the world of the living will be received by the souls here. The souls walked into the Offering Pavilion and saw the piles of items, and a warm current surged in their hearts. They felt the deep thoughts and care of their relatives, as if they had returned to the warm time with their relatives in the world of the living. Paper money can be used to buy various items in the underworld to meet the living needs of souls. Clothes can make souls no longer endure the cold. The souls carefully sorted out the items sent by their relatives, with happy smiles on their faces. They silently thanked their relatives in their hearts, hoping that their relatives in the world of the living can be safe, healthy, happy and happy. At the same time, they also understand that these items are not only material supplies, but also the emotional sustenance of their relatives, carrying endless thoughts and concerns. The 11th stop, Ghost World Fort. Leaving the Offering Pavilion, the souls came to Ghost World Fort. This is where ghosts live after death, like a small town in the underworld. On the streets, souls come and go. Although there is no bustle and prosperity in the world of the living, there is also a unique atmosphere of life. In the Ghost Realm Castle, there are various buildings, houses are scattered and shops are lined up. Souls can buy daily necessities here, and they can also communicate with other souls to share their stories before and after death. Those souls who have not been punished in the 18 layers of hell and have not entered reincarnation immediately will live here temporarily. They live a relatively peaceful life here. Although they have no physical body in the world of the living, they still maintain their emotions and memories before they die. In the Ghost Realm Castle, souls are waiting for the next arrangement of fate. Some are looking forward to the opportunity of reincarnation, hoping to return to the world of the living again and start a new life. Some are waiting for a special mission, ready to contribute their own strength to the underworld. The 12th stop, Lotus Platform. While waiting in the Ghost Realm Castle, some souls with special opportunities will be taken to the Lotus Platform. The Lotus Platform is the sacred place where KSI Bha Bodhisattva lectures in hell. It is radiant. Lotus flowers are blooming and exudes bursts of fragrance. KSI Bha Bodhisattva sits on a huge lotus throne with a kind face and eyes full of compassion and wisdom. His voice is like the sound of nature, echoing in every corner of the Lotus Platform. The souls here listen to the teachings of KSI Bha Bodhisattva and feel the profoundness of Buddhism. The words of the Bodhisattva are like a clear spring, flowing in the hearts of the souls, giving them unprecedented comfort and sublimation. On the Lotus Platform, the souls let go of all the troubles and obsessions in their lives, and have a deeper understanding of the cycle of life and death. Their hearts have been purified, no longer troubled by hatred, greed, and desire, but filled with peace and kindness. The 13th stop, the Cliff of Resurrection. After leaving the Lotus Platform, the souls came to the Cliff of Resurrection. The Cliff of Resurrection is towering into the clouds, and the cliff is surrounded by clouds and mist, as if connected to the sky. There is a bridge on the cliff, which is the famous Nai Bridge. On the bridge stands an old woman with a kind face. She is Meng Po. Meng Po wears a gray robe and holds a huge soup pot in her hand, which is filled with Meng Po soup. When the souls come to the Cliff of Resurrection, they must walk across the Nai Bridge and drink Meng Po soup to forget the grievances and hatreds of the previous life and embark on the road of reincarnation. The taste of Meng Po soup is bitter and hard to swallow. After the souls drink it, the memories of the previous life gradually recede like the tide. They no longer remember their relatives and friends in their lifetime, and no longer remember the joys and sorrows, joys and sorrows, joys and sorrows. After walking across the Nai Bridge, the faces of the souls are no longer sad and painful, nor are there joys and nostalgia, and their eyes become calm and blank. They walked with firm steps towards the entrance of reincarnation, ready to start a new life journey. At that moment, all the past became a cloud of smoke, and what awaited them would be a brand new life, full of unknowns and hopes. The specific experience of the 49 days of the 77th day. In addition to the wonderful journey of the 13 stations, the deceased also had unique and mysterious experiences in each of the 7 days during the 49 days after death. The first 7 days was called parting paths by the ancients, which is often called the first 7 days. During these special 7 days, there has been a saying among the people that the souls of the dead will not completely dissipate, and they can still hear the voices of their relatives. Therefore the tradition of calling the spirit came into being. With deep reluctance to the dead, The relatives whispered the names of the dead in front of the mourning hall, hoping to have the last communication with the departed soul. During these first 7 days, the relatives were busy and solemnly preparing funeral supplies for the dead. They carefully selected the clothes that the dead liked during their lifetime and sorted out various daily necessities, hoping that the dead could live comfortably and peacefully in the underworld. The placement of every item and the handling of every detail are full of the relatives' love and thoughts for the deceased. The second 7 days are called Evil Ghost Pass, or Arti. Legend has it that during these 7 days, the ghost will take the soul of the deceased to officially leave the world of the living and embark on the road to the underworld. The relatives know that this journey is full of unknowns and dangers. In order to allow the soul of the deceased to move forward smoothly, they will burn paper money for it. In the hearts of the relatives, these paper money are like the travel money of the deceased in the underworld, which can be used to arrange various ghosts and gods to ensure that the soul will not be harmed during the journey. The third 7 days were called Jiming Path by the ancients, or Sangpi, and also called Returning Soul Night. On this day, the soul of the deceased has a special opportunity to return to the world of the living and take another look at his relatives in the place where he once lived. However, this opportunity is limited. It must return to the ghost before the cock crows. That is, before dawn, otherwise it will become a lonely ghost and will never be reborn. For waters a journey of awakening in practice that span 20 years. In the ancient land of the East, there is a circumstance that the Buddha gave to practitioners. On the road of practice, there are 4 kinds of water that cannot be touched, otherwise all previous efforts will be wasted. These 4 mysterious waters, like reefs hidden in the fog, test the wisdom of every practitioner. The story of Chinese medicine practitioner Lin King Ming begins with the mistaken drinking of the first water, and gradually reveals the true meaning of practice that transcends life and death. Lin King Ming, a Chinese medicine practitioner born in the market, has a life of 35 years old like a calm wave. His parents died when he was young, and he grew up under the warm wings of his grandmother. His grandmother is a devout Buddhist believer. The chanting of scriptures every morning and the Buddhist stories at night soaked his childhood like spring rain. However, the young and energetic Lin King Ming regarded these as superstitions of the older generation. In his heart, cells under the microscope and herbs in the pharmacopoeia are the keys to unlocking the mysteries of life. After graduating from university, Lin King Ming opened a Chinese medicine clinic in the city with his solid medical skills. The aroma of herbs in the clinic and the smiles of patients after reconstitute his ordinary and fulfilling life. Until the huge wave of fate suddenly hit. 3 years ago, a ruthless car accident took away his beloved wife Li Yun, leaving only his young daughter Xiao Yu to depend on him. The death of his wife was like a heavy hammer, shattering Lin King Ming's spiritual world. He began to numb himself with alcohol, and the business of the clinic went from bad to worse. What is even more distressing is that Xiao Yu had repeated high fevers after her mother's death. She went to various major hospitals, but various precision instruments could not find the cause of the disease. Looking at his daughter's increasingly thin face, Lin King Ming almost collapsed, and the abyss of despair seemed to swallow him completely. Just when he was at the end of his rope, his grandmother's last words suddenly appeared in his mind. If one day you are confused, go to the Guanyin Pavilion in the east of the city, maybe you can find the answer. Holding the last glimmer of hope, Lin King Ming hugged the sick Xiao Yu and set foot on the mountain road to Guanyin Pavilion. Guanyin Pavilion is located halfway up the mountain, far away from the hustle and bustle. The ancient trees were towering, and the mottled sunlight leaked through the interlaced branches and leaves. The mountain breeze was wrapped in the fragrance of pine and cypress, which made people feel refreshed. For the first time, Lin Qingming knelt down in front of the statue of Guanyin Bodhisattva with sincerity, and his voice choked with sobs. Buddha, please bless Xiaoyu with peace and health. If there is a blessing, I would rather let her bear all this for me. Just as he stood up and prepared to leave, a white-haired old monk called him. The old monk's Buddhist name is Fa Yuan. His eyes are like a clear spring, calm but containing the power of insight. He looked at Xiaoyu and said compassionately, "This child has too much yin in his body. Ordinary people can't cure it with medicine. I have a prescription that may be worth a try." Lin Qingming had no other choice but to try his luck. Miraculously, after taking a medicinal bath according to Fa Yuan's prescription, Ji Wo's condition began to improve, and she was completely recovered a week later. This miraculous cure, like thunder, exploded in Lin Qingming's heart on thinking about the unknown world. From then on, Lin Qingming began to frequently visit Guanyin Pavilion. From initially asking questions with doubt, to gradually being attracted by the profound wisdom of Buddhism, and then to in-depth study, he completed the transformation from a scientific believer to a devout Buddhist. Master Fa Yuan told him, Buddhism is not superstition, but an insight into the essence of life, and a crystallization of wisdom that transcends time and space. Lin Qingming combined traditional Chinese medicine with Buddhism, not only paying attention to the physical pain of patients, but also soothing their spiritual trauma. The reputation of the clinic is getting better and better, and patients are coming in an endless stream. Time flies. 2 years have passed, and Lin Qingming is becoming more and more diligent in his practice. When chanting scriptures in Guanyin Pavilion every day, the inner peace and joy make him feel as if he has found the destination of life. However, the test of fate always comes inadvertently. It was an ordinary afternoon. After chanting scriptures, Lin Qingming felt thirsty, so he came to a spring in the mountains to drink water. The spring water was clear and sweet, and he couldn't help but drink a few more sips. An old monk who had never seen him walked slowly out of the woods. The old monk had white hair and beard, a peaceful face, but his eyes were as sharp as a sword. "Have you drunk mountain spring water recently?" the old monk asked directly. Lin Qingming told him the truth, but the old monk shook his head and sighed. There are 4 kinds of water that people who chant the Buddha's name should not touch, otherwise all merits will be lost. You have mistakenly drunk one of them, and I am afraid that your practice will be ruined. These words were like a bolt from the blue. Lin Qingming was full of doubts. "Master, may I ask what this means? I have never heard of any water that is not drinkable." The old monk claimed to be a monk who saved everyone, and invited Lin Qingming to a simple meditation room. As the aroma of tea wafted in the air, Padu began to talk about the mysterious 4 kinds of water are not real streams, but warnings set by the Tathagata Buddha for practitioners. They are 4 kinds of demons that corrode the soul. Lin Qingming asked eagerly, and Padu picked up the teacup and slowly said, "The first kind is the water of ingratitude. Mr. Lin, you have been practicing for more than 2 years. Do you remember who leads you to the door, and who lent a hand when you were most desperate?" Lin Qingming immediately replied, "Of course I remember. It was Master Fa Yuan who saved Xiaoyu and guided me to learn Buddhism." Padu said meaningfully, "You have not visited Fa Yuan for 3 consecutive times due to the busy affairs of the clinic recently. Have you gradually forgotten his kindness?" Lin Qingming's face flushed instantly. As the clinic business prospered, he was entangled in various affairs. The frequency of visiting FAU1 changed from once a week to once every half a month. Now he has not visited for 3 weeks. He did not intend to be ungrateful, but in the rush of worldly affairs, he unconsciously ignored the precious master-disciple relationship. The water of ingratitude is not only about forgetting the kindness of others, but also a sign of losing one's original heart. When a practitioner begins to forget the nobles in his life, his mind will be covered with dust, and eventually he will lose his way in the pursuit of fame and fortune. Padu's words were like hammers, hitting Lin Qingming's heart. Before Lin Qingming could recover from his self-blame, Padu said again, "The second type is the water of resentment." Mr. Lin seems calm on the surface, but deep in his heart, do you have unresolved resentment? Lin Qingming was silent for a long time and whispered, "I still cannot forgive the driver who hit and killed my wife. Although he has been imprisoned, every time I think of the scene of my wife's tragic death, my heart is filled with hatred." This is the water of resentment. Padu looked solemn. Buddhism emphasizes the cycle of cause and effect. When will the cycle of revenge end? If there is resentment in your heart, it is difficult to cultivate a pure heart, even if you recite the sutra 1,000 times a day. Lin Qingming was struck by lightning. He had always thought that he had accepted his wife's death, but he didn't know that the seeds of hatred had already taken root in his heart and became a huge obstacle on the road of cultivation. The third kind is the water of greed. Padu continued, "Master Lin's medical skills have improved, and the number of patients has increased. Have you ever developed greed because of this?" Lin Qingming said frankly, "I am indeed happy about the increase in income of the clinic. I have also thought about expanding the scale and making more money." Padu smiled and said, "Practicing medicine and saving lives is a merit, but once greed arises in the heart, you will lose your original intention. Money is like flowing water. It can nourish all things, but it can also overturn and drown. Only by grasping the right way can we follow the right path." Lin Qingming suddenly realized and sweated. Recently his mind was full of how to expand the clinic, increase income, and even plan to open a chain of clinics. He had long deviated from his original intention of saving lives. Just as Padu was about to explain the fourth kind of water, a burst of hurried footsteps interrupted the conversation. The young monk came running over. "Master Padu, it's bad. Master Fauan suddenly fainted. The situation is critical." Lin Qingming and Padu were shocked and rushed to Fauan's meditation room. They saw Fauan lying on the bed with a pale face and a weak breath. Lin Qingming immediately stepped forward to feel his pulse. His face solemn. "Master Fauan has both Qi and blood deficiency. It may be due to overwork. You need to take medicine immediately, otherwise it may be dangerous." He quickly took out the precious medicinal materials from the medicine box and told the young monk to boil the medicine. Standing by the bed, watching the soup fed into Fauan's mouth, little by little, until the old man's breathing gradually stabilized, Lin Qingming breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Padu walked up to him and said, "Donor Lin is a skilled doctor who saved Fauan's life. We just talked about the fourth kind of water." Lin Qingming shook his head and interrupted, "Master, although Master Fauan's condition has improved, he still needs to be closely observed. Can we talk about the teachings of the fourth kind of water another day? I want to stay here to take care of Master Fauan." Padu nodded with satisfaction and said, "Donor Lin is loyal and knows how to be grateful. This is rare." In this case, the secret of the fourth kind of water will be left for another day. For the next 3 days, Lin Qingming stayed by FAU on site. He handed over all the affairs of the clinic to his assistants and concentrated on preparing prescriptions and observing the condition. During this period, he constantly reflected on Padu's teachings and regretted his previous negligence. On the evening of the 3rd day, FAU finally woke up. Seeing Lin Qingming's bloodshot eyes and haggard face, the old man was deeply moved. "Qingming, I heard that you didn't close your eyes for 3 days and 3 nights just to save me. Thank you for saving my life." Lin Qingming's eyes were red. "Master saved my daughter's life and lead me to Buddhism. This is a great favor. What do I do now counts for nothing." Speaking of Buddhism, Lin Qingming remembered Pudu's words and asked Fa Yuan if he knew the 4 kinds of water. Fa Yuan's face changed drastically after hearing this. "This is a secret of Buddhism. How did you know it?" "There is indeed a monk named Pudu in Guanyin Pavilion, but he has passed away for 20 years. Lin Qingming was shocked. But he clearly talked with Pudu and received precious teachings. Fa Yuan sighed. "Buddhism is mysterious, and karma is incredible. Perhaps Master Pudu saw that you have wisdom and came to enlighten you." The teachings of the 4 kinds of water are indeed recorded in the ancient Jingxing Sutra, but the mystery of the 4th kind of water is beyond my comprehension. After Fa Yuan recovered, Lin Qingming began to look for Padu's traces. He came to Padu's meditation room before his death, and saw a painting hanging on the wall. "Water of ungrateful cannot be drunk, water of resentment cannot be taken out, water of greed cannot be seen, and the 4th kind of water, you will know it if you have a predestined relationship." Just as Lin Qingming was thinking hard about the painting, a bad news came. His daughter Xiao Yu suddenly fainted at school and was sent to the hospital. Lin Qingming rushed to the hospital like crazy, looking at Xiao Yu on the bed with a pale face, which was exactly the same as the situation 3 years ago. Western medical examinations were fruitless, and Lin Qingming remembered the medicinal bath 3 years ago, but this attempt had no effect, and Zhuo's condition became worse. In despair, he knelt in front of the bed and cried bitterly, "Buddha, please bless Xiao Yu again. I am willing to exchange all my merits for my daughter's health." At this moment a flash of lightning streaked across the sky and thunder roared. Lin Qingming looked up and saw Padu appear at the door of the ward. "Donor, you finally understand the meaning of the 4th kind of water," Padu said. "What is the 4th kind of water?" Lin Qingming asked anxiously. "The 4th kind of water is the water of obsession. If you are obsessed with something and refuse to let it go, such as being obsessed with family affection and unable to see through life and death, you will drink the water of obsession. Donor, let go of the obsession, maybe you can find a way to save your daughter." Before he finished speaking, Padu disappeared. The 4 words "let go of obsession" set off a storm in Lin Qingming's heart. Xiao Yu is the whole meaning of his life and his only concern in this world. How easy is it for him to let go? But looking at his daughter's increasingly weak body, he had to face the struggle in his heart. After staying up all night, Lin Qingming returned to Guanyin Pavilion to ask Fa Yuan for advice. Fa Yuan sighed. "Master Padu is right. The water of obsession is the most difficult hurdle to overcome on the road of cultivation. Everyone has obsessions, whether for family, love, fame, or life and death. These obsessions are like shackles that bind the soul and prevent people from gaining true freedom." Lin Qingming was confused and said, Master, if I am not obsessed with saving Xiaoyu, then what is the point of my practice of chanting Buddha? If I don't even care about my relatives, is there any value in such practice? Fei Yuan's eyes were firm. Let me ask you, are you practicing chanting Buddha to save Xiaoyu or to cultivate yourself and save others? This question was like a revelation, which made Lin Pingming suddenly enlightened. It turned out that his practice had always been highly utilitarian, in order to achieve the purpose of saving his daughter. How could such practice accumulate real merit? Letting go of obsessions is not being cold and heartless, but not being attached to the results. You can do your best to treat Xiaoyu, but you must accept all possibilities calmly. Birth, aging, illness and death are natural laws that even Buddha cannot reverse. A true practitioner should maintain inner peace and calmness. Fei Yuan's words were full of wisdom. Lin Pingming returned to the hospital and looked at Xiaoyu on the bed and whispered, Xiaoyu, Dad has always been too obsessed with hatred, obsessed with money, and obsessed with your recovery. But Dad now understands that these obsessions will only make us suffer. No matter what the result is, Dad will always love you. Dad must let go of obsessions to truly help you. Then, Lin Pingming began to calm down and recite the scriptures. This time, he did not do it for any purpose, but simply practiced, hoping to save all living beings by accumulating merits. In this tranquility, he suddenly had an epiphany and realized that the key to Zhuo's condition was that the degree of imbalance between yin and yang was different from 3 years ago. He quickly adjusted the prescription, adding warming yang herbs and reducing cold herbs. Miracles happened again. After the adjusted medicinal bath, Zhuo's condition began to improve. 3 days later, she woke up with a ruddy complexion and recovered as before. After Xiaoyu was discharged from the hospital, Lin Pingming took her to Guanian Pavilion. Here, they met Fei Yuan. Fei Yuan looked at them with satisfaction. Mr. Lin, you have understood the mystery of the 4 kinds of water. It is not easy. Lin Pingming bowed respectfully. Thank you for your guidance, Master. I have understood that the water of ingratitude makes people lose their original intentions. The water of resentment pollutes the soul. The water of greed makes people sink, and the water of obsession traps people. These 4 kinds of water are obstacles on the road of practice. Since then, Lin Pingming's practice has entered a new realm. He deeply integrated medical skills with Buddhism, not only treating patients' physical diseases but also guiding them to purify their souls. His clinic became a well-known spiritual station, far and wide, and many people came here to seek medical treatment. 5 years later, Fei Yuan passed away. Before his death, he handed Lin Pingming a letter. Mr. Lin, 25 years ago I met Master Pudu, who taught me the principles of the 4 kinds of water, but I only understood 3 kinds and failed to comprehend the mystery of the water of obsession. Now I see that you have fully understood, which shows that you have a deep affinity with Buddhism. You must know that these 4 kinds of water are originally the water of one heart. The heart is not calm. The clear water will become poison. If the heart is pure, the poison will become nectar. 10 years later, Lin Pingming has become a highly respected master of traditional Chinese medicine and a Buddhist layman. His clinic has developed into an institution that integrates medical treatment, health preservation, and spiritual practice, benefiting countless people. He also wrote the story of the 4 kinds of water into For Water's Coming records, to help more practitioners avoid the reefs of life. On this day, Lin Pingming brought Xiaoyu, who had become an excellent traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, to Guanyin Pavilion. After worshipping in front of the spirit tablet of Fa Yuan, they came to the spring of that year. Looking at the clear spring water, Xiao Yu asked, "Dad, we can't touch these 4 kinds of water. Then what water should we drink?" Lin Pingming smiled and said, "Silly child, these 4 kinds of water are not real water, but the obsession in our hearts. As the Diamond Sutra said, one should not dwell on anything and give rise to the mind. If you do not cling to anything, your mind will naturally be pure." As soon as he finished speaking, a golden light flashed above the spring and the figure of Pudu slowly emerged. "Amitabha, Mr. Lin, I haven't seen you for 20 years, and you have become a great man." Lin Pingming and Xiao Yu hurriedly saluted. Pudu looked at Xiao Yu and nodded. "The little donor back then has grown up and will become a great man in the future. Donor Lin, you have understood the principle of the 4 waters returning to one. Do you have a deeper understanding?" Lin Pingming thought for a moment and said, "My disciple believes that although the 4 waters have different names, their essence is one. If the mind is pure, all waters are nectar. If the mind is turbid, even clear springs become poison. Cultivation focuses on cultivating the mind, rather than being obsessed with external appearances." Pudu nodded with satisfaction. "That's right. People in the world often cling to external appearances, but don't know that the key to cultivation is to understand the mind and see the nature. If you can keep your mind pure, you will naturally stay away from the troubles of the 4 waters." After that, Pudu's figure gradually dissipated, leaving only one sentence echoing in the valley. "The 4 waters return to one, and the water is clear when the mind is calm. Cultivation is the key to enlightenment. Those who do this should reflect on themselves on the spot. Never drink the forbidden water. Stop the loss in time to complete the merits." After that, Lin Pingming continued to spread the Dharma and save people until he passed away at the age of 90. His life began with drinking the water of ungratefulness by mistake. After going through many tests, he finally realized the true meaning of 4 waters returning to one. He used his own story to tell the world. The 4 kinds of water mentioned by the Buddha are actually warnings to the soul. Only by keeping the heart clear and staying away from ungratefulness, resentment, greed, and obsession can we go steady and far on the path of practice and obtain true liberation and perfection.